Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's market outlook. Edmund here. First of all, to all my Muslim friends all around the world, I would like to wish every single one of you a Selamat Hari Raya Aidil Adha. I hope you spend the time very wisely with your family and friends, and I hope you guys have a restful weekend ahead. Okay. So yesterday was a very exciting day in terms of the economic calendar, and we saw currency prices such as the UK pound moving up almost 150 pips, and also we continue to see the US dollar weakening. Okay, we also managed to analyze the gold prices, which touched a double top on early Thursday morning. And for yesterday, gold prices initially pushed back down about 30 US dollars before having a very good recovery, moving up another 30 US dollars as we are speaking. Okay, so first of all, let us have a run through of today's economic calendar. Today's economic calendar is as busy as it was yesterday. We will be starting off with the German retail sales data coming out at 2 p.m. And the main focus for today will be on the quarterly GDP numbers, which will be released as early as 3 p.m. today, starting with starting with Spain, and then moving on to Italy. And at 5 p.m., we will be having the flash quarterly GDP data for the Eurozone at 5 p.m. Canada will also be announcing their monthly gross domestic product numbers at 8:30 p.m. tonight. And from the US tonight, it will be a set of minor economic data, starting with the core PCE price index at 8:30 p.m. and also the personal income and spending reports at 8:30 p.m. The Chicago Purchasing Managers Index report will be released at 9:45 p.m. And tonight's economic calendar will be wrapped up by the US consumer sentiment and inflation expectations numbers. Okay, so for the last 24 hours or so, again, the US dollar continued to weaken after a set of negative US economic data was released overnight. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the data yesterday. So again, in terms of economic events and also the economic data, it was pretty busy ever since early morning at 2 a.m. We had the FOMC statement release, and for yesterday, we had a lot of economic data coming up, but the focus was on the advanced GDP data. This basically reported the quarterly GDP numbers from the months of April, May, and June for the US economy. So Marcus was expecting the numbers to come in at negative 34.5%. This is a negative 34.5% contraction. The actual numbers came in at a contraction of negative 32.9%. It is slightly better than market expectations. However, a contraction is a contraction, and this negative 32.9% contraction is the worst ever seen in the history of the US economy. The previous one was in 1958, where it dropped by negative 10%. And also, another one was in the year 2007 economic recession, where it dropped by negative 8.4%. Okay, so by no small means that this negative 32.9% contraction is a major blow to the economy, and I believe the markets are starting to digest, and the reality of the negative economic impact is about to set in. Many investors and the markets was expecting a V-shaped recovery, immediate recovery to the pandemic. However, again, for the last 2 weeks or so, the economic data releases was pretty mixed compared to in the early weeks of June, where most of the economic data was positive. However, again, for the last 2 weeks and especially for yesterday, we do see the numbers dropping again, and I really think this time it's really going to sink in that it's going to be it's going to get a little bit worse before it slowly stabilizes, before we have any chance of economic decent economic recovery moving into the year 2021. Okay, so even the year 2021 is a pretty optimistic time period. Okay, so yeah, so the advanced GDP data coming in at negative 32.9%, definitely bad reading. And of course, we had the unemployment claims numbers also. Again, the unemployment claims numbers came in marginally better than market expectations. However, at 1.34 million US citizens filing for unemployment claims, this was still higher than the average of 1.3 million over the last 4 weeks or so. Okay, so yeah, so continuing negative economic data from the US, this actually pushed down the US dollar, weakening further. So this is pretty amazing also. The US dollar has been weakening ever since the 30th of June from a high of the 97.73 reading all the way to the current levels of 92.59. Okay, so yeah, so it has broken through the previous low achieved on the 9th of March. Okay, previous low was 94.57. So the next one we'll be looking at is possibly a reading of about 92.40. Okay, so 92.40 levels is pretty much at the current reading at the moment. So there's a high chance that again the US dollar will try to have some consolidation and support, and possibly have some retracement before deciding to go down or up later. Okay, so again, the reality of the economic situation is beginning to sink in. It is reflected on the US dollar index, it is reflected on gold prices, and it is also reflected on the other major currencies. Okay, so just now we mentioned already the US quarterly GDP numbers, and also this was the largest annualized contraction in the history of the data series. And of course, the US weekly unemployment claims also came in slightly above market expectations at 1.43. However, it is still not a healthy number by any means, and continuing claims has increased to 17 million claims as of yesterday. Okay, so back to the technical charts. So again, we do see the US dollar continuing to weaken, and it should be reaching its support levels achieved way back on over here, way back on in the year 2018. Okay, May 13, 2018. So possibly the US dollar should find some support at these levels, going for a consolidation or maybe a marginal recovery before deciding whether to push down further or push further up. Okay, so for yesterday, again, we do see the US dollar starting to weaken at about 1500 plus 5. This is 2000 hours, which is 8 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time. The US dollar starts to move down. Okay, so for the UK pound, continues its bullish trend. Okay, ever since in the short term bullish trend, it was from the 23rd of July at a price of 1.2682, and currently it is bouncing up and also touching a multi-day high, which was this one. We mentioned this last week. The target price for the UK pound would be at this tip over here, around this tip here of about 1.3120. Okay, so it has achieved that level. So we are waiting to see whether in the afternoon session it could have another small push up before pushing back down again. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see later on in the afternoon. However, as you can see, the movements and the trend is very clear. After consolidating for 1, 2, 3 days, it breaks this consolidation phase, and it has been bullish ever since then. Okay, so for today, again, towards the high upside, if it does have any strength to move up further, it should be targeting a price of 1.3202, which is another 70 pips on the upside. And towards the downside, if If it does pull down, it will be pulling down towards this bullish trend line. So the short-term support levels will be at 1.3088, which is about 40 pips on the downside. And if this doesn't hold, it should be going towards the next support levels of 1.3030, okay, which is another 100 pips down. So that would be the range for the UK pound for today. And for the US dollar, for the euro dollar, again, as you can see on the weekly charts, it has you can't see much on the daily charts. So on the weekly charts, it is already surpassed the target price of 1.1856. So we should be watching for a marginal retracement moving forward. Okay. So moving on to gold prices. Gold prices, as we mentioned yesterday, it formed a double top on early Thursday morning, 2 a.m. And ever since yesterday, it has been on a bearish trend. It was not an immediate push down, but it was a gradual push down, eventually pushing down about $26 at the moment. And at the height of it, it was down about almost $30. Okay. However, again, after the economic data was announced yesterday evening, we do see gold prices pushing back up about $27. Okay. So silver prices is currently finding support and consolidation at $23.18 levels, and it has also gone a bit quiet for now. Oil prices also reacted heavily to the US economic data. Oil prices moved down further from this time period, about here we go. Okay, technically it's this one. So at about 8 p.m. local Singapore Malaysia time, oil prices moved down from $40.75 all the way to $38.84. Okay. But as you can see, the price actually started to move as early as 9+5 2 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time, from $41.29 and touching a low of $38.84. So it was a $2.45 movement, and of course it had a very good recovery also, pushing back up another $1.68. Okay. Bitcoin is a bit quiet, nothing much happening for Bitcoin at the moment, still in the consolidation range. So that was for the GBP price range, and also for the euro dollar price range. For gold prices, again, we are looking that it has to break past this resistance first at 1,970. If it can break past, the next target price again is 1,980, about $10 to the upside. And if it does move down, it will come back to these support levels again of 1,944, which is about $25 to the downside. Okay, so pay attention again to the UK trading sessions at 2 to 4 p.m. and towards the evening, 7 to 9 p.m. we should be having at least another 2 cycles in the market today. So if you guys still want to trade, you can watch out for those 2 cycles. Okay. So again, very Selamat Hari Raya Aidiladha to all my Muslim friends, and I hope you guys have a great day ahead and very good weekend, and I will see you again on Monday. Thank you. Take care and happy celebrations. Thank you.